Hello guys, the coin here once again with another market update. So the futures market is open. Once again, it opened about 54 minutes ago. So the market's actually gained before the end of the session. Yeah, about about two and a half hours ago. So the futures are open. Not much difference. Like I said, there were some gains at market close. So the futures market is a little bit up. So Dow Jones actually closed a little bit up as well. Didn't look at the S&P, but I believe it's kind of the same thing. Yep, like we can see, same stuff happening in the SPX. So once again, I was actually expecting for the market to dump today. That has not happened. Yeah, but I actually forgot to see the SPX chart. So the S&P actually dropped from this rising wedge. It was trying to to crawl back again. So let's take a look at silver, just quick. So silver is still hovering that pennant formation, I would say. Let's take a look at gold. Gold. It's actually still in this kind of a rising wedge as well, or rising channel. Yep. Let me just make this trend line a little bit brighter. What I want is this. Just make it a little bit brighter. Yep. So like we can see here, gold is kind of in a rising wedge formation, or a broadening wedge, according to where you want to see it. Looks like a rising wedge, and also a broadening wedge formation going to the upside. So let's take a look at the Euro USD, at the Forex. So looks like not much movement is actually going on. Everything is still in the same realm here. So we're still waiting for some kind of a movement. We have to remember tomorrow is Black Friday, or Friday, so who knows if everything starts to crumble down tomorrow. I guess we will have to wait. Hey Daniel, how you doing, man? Yep, I'm just making another market update here. I guess I haven't come to Bitcoin yet. Let me just go quickly to it. So Bitcoin was actually testing testing this resistance on this fib circle here. It actually failed for now, so like I said, we're kind of waiting for some kind of movement, so we still have to wait and see what happens. But besides that, I really wanted to talk about something else. I would like to talk as well about the second wave, because I was watching some news. It looks like the second wave of the pandemic is starting to hit the United States again. I talked about reports yesterday from Florida, Texas. The cases have been rising again. Like I said, I don't believe Bitcoin sent down a bit. Yeah, yeah, it dropped a little bit, but like I said, we're still waiting for the direction of the markets here, so we still have to wait and see. I don't know if anything will happen this evening. Maybe it will. But like I said, I just wanted to talk about the second wave that is actually looking already starting to happen in the United States. So, uh, what do you think about the government pumping currency? Yeah, it's going it's going to an end, man. It doesn't matter how much currency they pump the markets, because basically the Fed is buying everything up, stock market, everything, man. They're buying stocks. They're trying everything to prevent this crash, which cannot be prevented unless they come up with a solution of the global reset, which the IMF and the World Economic Forum have been talking about. So basically, unless they figure out how to make that global reset a reality, man, the market is still going to crash because it's like I mentioned before, it's the everything bubble, and it's going to pop, man. There's just no way, man. There's just no way that that they can prevent the markets to crash, man. And like I said, this is not an official crash because we're still going down to the lows of March. The stock market, Bitcoin, we're going sideways a little bit. We have a little bit of a correction, and then the dumping continues, and then we go to new lows. I don't believe this is going to take much longer. I believe that the markets will be at March lows in about a week. You know, check the rates like you say. The Fed is in buying everything, but to what end? No, the reason why the Fed is buying everything up is to prevent the stock market. That they have been doing this since September. Do you remember? Yeah, September last year. Do you remember about the repo markets? That's when it all started. The repo markets created the problem, because basically what you have to understand is that the repo markets, it's kind of a lending platform. So they loan you money from a period of 24 hours to 48 hours to a week or so. So it's a short lending program promoted by the Fed and the government. It's basically where banks can buy in and do some 24-hour loans or 48-hour loans. And basically it started from there. So in order for them to not let it crash, if you, I don't know if you remember, the rates were up. The rates just went incredibly high from one day to the other. So the lending percent was hovering about 1% or 1.4, and suddenly from one day to the other, it just went up to 5 or 10% or whatever, and the banks started to get in trouble because the rates went too high too fast. That means that there was a lot of demand for these loans, but there wasn't enough loans for everybody. Do you understand? That's where basically the crisis started in September last year. And then we had they kicked the can down the road, and then in the beginning of this year, we already had its problems. Then the pandemic came out, and because of the pandemic, everybody went into panic mode. And once again, yeah, it is, man. It's all connected, man. Everything is, the Fed and the government and Trump and whatever. They're just right now. They're just preventing to the max of the crash, because they know the crash is coming. Everybody knows the crash is coming. That's why I talked about the great investors of Wall Street. They are sitting on their hands right now. Warren Buffett is sitting on his hands on 40 billion dollars in cash. What do you actually believe he's waiting for? Why isn't he investing in anything? He sold his before the first crash. He's just waiting for the crash to happen before he can buy back in, man. He still has some stocks, but most of his money is in cash. Why? Because he's waiting. He's just waiting. He knows that something is going to happen, or he may know that, as we know, that the stock market is going to crash hard. So he's waiting. That's why he's sitting on $40 billion cash. That's why he's not buying any stocks right now. Because anybody, you know, just take a look. All you have to do is take a look at take a look at Tesla. Take a look at Tesla. It started to dump a little bit, but take a look at Tesla. Who in his right mind would be buying this stock? Who in the right mind would be buying this stock? Any credible investor, who the hell would be buying this stock? Look, it's at all-time highs. Who the hell would be buying this, man? Nobody. And so Tesla. So let's take a look at Amazon. Look at Amazon. Who in the right mind that can call himself an investor would be buying these stocks at all-time highs? Who the hell would be buying this, man? I wouldn't touch this, man. I wouldn't touch this. It dumped a little bit, but nothing major compared to yesterday, so it continued to go up. How much longer can they continue to do this? Because I believe that they're actually injecting a lot more money into the Nasdaq. Because why? Because the Nasdaq is constituted by the big tech companies, man. That's why the Nasdaq is completely out of control compared to the Dow Jones and the S&P. Look, I don't know who the hell would be buying this stuff here at all-time highs. I sure, like I said, I sure wouldn't touch this. This is insane, man. To buy a stock here, you're just waiting to get wrecked, man. Because, like I said, you know, when the stock market crash hits, Amazon, Tesla, and the other stocks, every single stock is going to be affected, and they're going to have massive losses as well. It doesn't matter how high they are right now. So this is basically the problem here. And like I said, man, it's complete insanity what is going on in the markets. So that's what the Fed is doing. Just take a look at this. Just take a look at this, at the rise of the stock. This is complete madness, man. Hockey stick. This actually reminds me of Bitcoin here, in the beginning. So do you really believe this is going to sustain itself? Even the experts are saying that the stock market is way too overvalued. Nobody in the right mind would buy a stock like this, man. It's just too fucking high. I'm not saying that's the reality of every stock, but look, Amazon, Tesla. Let's take a look at Microsoft. I haven't even taken a look at Microsoft. I'm just focusing on the big ones. So look, take a look at Microsoft, man. Take a look at Microsoft. Who the hell that can call him a serious investor would be buying these stocks at all-time high? Nobody would do that. Jesus, man, it's insane. Let's take a look at Intel. Not this one. Intel Corp. Well, at least, you know, Intel is still high, or was at all-time highs as well. But compared to the others, you know, take a look at this, man. Who the hell would be investing? And it didn't hit the all-time highs. But who the hell would be investing or buying these stocks here, man? At least for long term, for a serious investment. I know that the traders The stock traders, they get in and out, they get in and out. But who the hell in the right mind would be buying these stocks, I don't know, for a year or two? Nobody. Nobody would be buying these stocks. Let me take a look at Boeing. One of the stocks that Warren Buffett dumped. Look, it already started to dump Boeing. You know, the airline stocks that don't look good. They don't look good. Don't look good at all, man. Who the hell would be buying this? Nobody, man. Nobody would be buying this stuff. So let's check out Twitter. Yeah, Twitter is up here as well. Twitter. Well, how surprisingly, Twitter is actually not at all-time highs. Look, it's actually performing very bad. Let's take a look at Facebook. And I'm just checking the tech stocks, right? Let's take a look at Facebook. Yeah, what a surprise. Facebook is also at all-time highs. So let's take a look at what is next. Apple. Let's take a look at Apple. Not this one. Let's take a look at Apple. All-time highs as well. So let's take a look at Facebook. Facebook, surprisingly, all-time high. Do you really believe that these stocks, these tech stocks, are not going to be affected when the stock market the stock market crash comes, or when it resumes? Take a look at the QQQ, which is a fund that is composed mostly by the big tech companies. You know, take a look at this. This is insane, man. So I forgot. Yeah, I forgot Alphabet. Google Alphabet. Look at these stocks. They're all at all-time highs. Basically, only Twitter is the one that, you know, it's actually not one of the biggest, but Twitter is actually performing bad compared to the others, man. It's complete madness, man. And they buy it when the stock is at the highest price. Only a kid who doesn't understand the market. Well, unfortunately, there's a lot of people that buy the hype. And the mainstream media actually help with that, man, because they incentivize the public that has little to no knowledge about investment and buying stocks and whatever. They'll tell, hey, yes, you need to buy this stock, you need to buy this because it's a good investment, it's going up and shit like that. And people fall for that. There's a lot of people that fall for that shit, because most of the people that are lured into the market right now, they don't understand shit about this. Who the hell would be buying these stocks at all-time highs like an investment, man? Check any major construction company based in New York or Miami. Keep in mind that they've been out for a month, and you will see their stock rise. Yeah, man, it's like I said, it's just a pump. It's just a pump, the pump at the stocks, because, you know, I'm not saying that Microsoft isn't making money, because they're technology. They make their money on the internet, so they're not suffering. Microsoft is not suffering. You know, Amazon is not suffering. Amazon is actually doing better. Why? Because of the lockdowns. All they have to do is to order something online, and they get it at home. So they're not suffering. Which one? So Google or Alphabet shouldn't be actually suffering, and they are not, at least in regards of the stock. But in regards of company policies, they're completely wrecked, man. Look at what they're doing to YouTube. YouTube is actually bleeding, but like I said, they're still making a lot of money. Which other tech companies are around? Twitter is not doing that good in the stock, but they're still making money. So like I said, you know, the big internet companies, the online companies, Microsoft and stuff like that, they're still doing well, because, you know, they're internet stocks. They're based on the internet. So everybody that was on lockdown had to consume the internet. But the rest of the industries, like like the construction companies, like the hotels, like restaurants and whatever, they were completely decimated. And although they have a pump in the markets, it doesn't mean that the company is at good state. That's that's the problem with all this crap here, man. Because everybody's buying the hype. But like I said, we're in the verge of resuming the crash, and everybody will panic, and the panic will, it will cause a big sell-off. Like I said, man, I don't believe it. Like I said, I believe that in about 7 days, we're at March lows. Every stock, not every stock, because every stock is different. So the stock market, I believe, will be at the lows. So many of the stocks we're going to drop hard. Even Alphabet, even Amazon, even Tesla are going to dump. How much? I don't know. We still have to understand or to see about that. But if we take a look at past indicators, this was the last dump of Google in the 23rd of March, right? So it dumped from 1,533 to 1,000. So it dumped. It might still be a small dump, but they will all dump because, man, it's just insanity with the markets today. It's just complete insanity, man, and it's not sustainable, man. It's just not sustainable. The traditional economy, of course, they're suffering the most because, like I say, if you put the world in lockdown for about 3 months, and you shut the economy off, what the hell are you expecting, man? You don't need to be a rocket scientist to understand that if you close any country for 3 months economically, shit is going to hit the fan. The problem is that almost the entire world shut the economies down. So their economies are done. So basically, what is still surviving is the stock markets. The stock markets, the central banks and the Feds buying the stocks back so that they can pump the market. That's the only thing that what's going on, because all the world economies, the real world economies, when people have to buy and sell products, it's completely done. The economy is done, but these guys are still playing the game. But this game will end, and I believe that the end is coming very soon. I was expecting it for it to happen today, but the market went sideways. But I don't believe they will be escaping that tomorrow. I'm not saying that we're going to drop, to new lows. It's not going to happen overnight as well. But from what I understand about all this, and we're going to retest March lows, then we're going sideways and up a little bit, and then we're going to new lows. Then the stock market resumes. This will happen because the IMF, the World Economic Forum, they know about this. They have been writing about this because the only way that they say that this can be prevented is for a global reset, because they know that the market crash, they can't prevent it. They can delay it, and they have been delaying it a bit, but it can't be delayed no more. And with this market crash, if things are already bad in the real economy, it's going to be even better, because every major company that is big or medium is in the stock market, and if that stock gets decimated, these companies are basically done. Just take a look at Lehman Brothers in 2008. It went belly up. And another one, which I can't remember right now, Freddie Mac or whatever that had something to do with real estate and the housing. They went belly up as well. They were bought out by another company, by another bank. So the too big to fails, they will fail. They failed before, but they will fail again. And Where will the money will come from? Because if the market, if the Fed is already pumping the stock market, where will be the money to save these companies from bankruptcy? There won't be any. They should have let them fail in 2008, but no. They continue to rig the shit, because the money that the money that they got in 2008 to bail out the banks and the companies that were too big to fail, it's not enough. It's not with I don't know, 800 billion or 1 trillion, but I think it was 800 billion. So with 800 billion, they build all the companies out in 2008. Man, right now you will need over 50 trillion dollars just to bail them out. So, it's they like I said, the printing press, they can't do it because they have been printing so much, and they will not be able to save the big to fail companies anymore. It's not going to do it. This is, like many experts say, this is Great Depression stuff. 2008 was a walk in the park. There's no way that they're going to phony this one out, because they are not able to do this. Too much money has been printed already. So, what was it, 2 or 3 months ago, President Trump just signed a check of $6 trillion. $6 trillion, man, for the stock market. So how many trillions will actually be needed this time to bail all the banks and all the bad companies? How much will it need? 50 trillion? 100 trillion? I don't know, man. The number is so ridiculously high because, like I said, although these companies have high valuations in the stock market, that's just it. It's just smoke and mirrors, right? And once again, when the market fails again, these companies that seem to be in great shape right now, they will be in the gutter. They will bleed to death, like in the Great Depression of 1929. Because we still have to remember that between 1929 and 1931, the stock market, the Dow Jones, which was the only index that was around back then, lost 89% of its value in a span of 3 years, man. This market, the the modern economy, the modern market, they can't take 89% losses, man. It's just bankruptcies written all over the place. The assessment will be bought on pennies on the dollar. Yeah, that's what happened in 1932. So the guys that sold the stocks before the margin call was done, yeah, it is more serious. It is more serious because it is worldwide. Because every single economy is affected because of the global economy. So everything has a ripple effect all around the world. This is really Great Depression stuff. This is even bigger than the Great Depression of 1929. This is even bigger, man. This is a killer, man. This is a killer for most companies, even the ones that look like they are successful right now, like an Amazon, like a Microsoft, like a Tesla, like an Apple, man. Every single one of them could be decimated. Could be decimated if they didn't do the right choices and have some cash for the company instead of buying back their stocks. Because if they fall into the mistake that they're buying back their stocks themselves, they're going to bankruptcy when the crash is coming down. No, like I was talking about, man. The IMF is talking about the Great Reset. The World Economic Forum is talking about the Great Reset. So that's what they're talking about. Because yeah, I don't believe that they will let the market crash, to a certain point, because I don't know. I could be wrong. I hope not, or whatever. No, like I said, my only worry about this is the people, man. The people. Generally, the common man is are the people that are going to be affected, most affected by this. You know, because the big companies, the big to fail, you know, the CEOs and whatever, they still have reserves, they still have money, and they can get they can manage, you know, a lot better than any common man that lives paycheck from paycheck to paycheck. You know, that is what's going on. That is the problem, because I don't feel sorry for the CEOs or for these big companies. If they fail, well, if they fail, they fail. You know, every single company that has been around since the beginning of times, they might have been successful at one point, but they went belly up. That's just how the markets work. That's how competition works, and you know, that's just the reality of stuff. But the people is the concern here, because unfortunately, once again, it's the average Joe that's going to be decimated as well. They should call themselves not the IMF, but the International Gangster Inc. Yeah, that's what they are. Of course, the IMF is part of it. They are all part of it. You know, the Fed, the IMF, the Bank of Settlements, they're Goldman Sachs. Man, these people are these people only care about money and power. They don't care about anyone else. Like they didn't care about the 1929 depression. How many people kill themselves? Even like I said, even billionaires, you know, got liquidated in 1929. Billionaires that were in the top of the buildings committing suicide. People that have millions and billions of dollars in a question of 5 minutes lost everything. You know, that's what we're talking about here. Do you actually believe that that the guys that were in power cared about the people that died in 1929? Of course they didn't give a shit. Like they're not giving a shit right now. No, yeah, I completely agree, Daniel. There's a lot of things, you know, from this pandemic, from the madness that we're going on with the measures, and now they're talking about the second wave, and it looks like the second wave is already in the United States again. So Florida, now Texas, having cases spikes because of the tests. They have new tests, so tests are creating false positives, and people actually believe they have COVID-19. Even in my country right now, you know, that we're starting to go out again. Now in our capital, there is a serious outbreak again. So they're going to mandate lockdowns again. They're going to mandate lockdowns again. They're going to mandate what is it called again? Curfews. We didn't really had curfews, but they're going to mandate in the capital of this country, Portugal, because it looks like, yeah, things are getting out of hand in Lisbon, while the rest of the country is nothing going on. But in Lisbon, for whatever reason, Lisbon is the most affected place in Portugal. Where did it actually start? In Porto, in the north. Come on. And this is what they're doing. So they're already putting Lisbon into lockdown, and then they will come back for the rest of the country. That's what will happen. I'm seeing the signs on the wall here. They're going to put us on lockdown again. I'm 40 years old, my friend, and I've seen things that I will never even thought that were possible with the economy. Yeah, man, I'm in your boat. I'm 42, man. I completely agree. I witnessed the 2008 crisis, although, you know, I wasn't very aware of it. You know, I still was very young. Um, in the beginning, from up 2008, that's when I started to go the rabbit hole. But yeah, I witnessed that in 2008. I was actually living in Lisbon back then, and from one day to the other, man, the pump stations, I mean, the gas stations, you know, they were dried out. Everybody was trying to get gas, and nobody could get gas in the capital. That was insane, man. I never saw something like that. And yeah, that was. And after that, all the construction companies in this country shut down because of the economic situation of 2008. There also was a cause of also was a little bit of a housing crisis here as well. But the construction companies, they were the ones that suffered the most in 2008 here in Portugal. So I know, man. It's like I said, man. The magnitude of what is going on right now, the insanity of everything that is going on right now. It's just completely off the charts, man. It's just completely off the charts. From the pandemic, from shutting the world economy down, from I don't know, man. This is just too too crazy what is going on, and now the market crash that is looming, that could potentially see 87% of losses when the crash is done. Look, this is complete insanity, man. This is complete. The world is gone completely insane, because instead of applying real policies and cutting the problem, no, they never cut the problem. In 2008, the problem wasn't resolved. It was just delayed. And now here we are in 2020. The problem is, I don't know, perhaps thousand times bigger than it was in 2008. It, I believe it's even bigger. The problems are even bigger. And yes, I have absolutely almost no doubt that it's way worse than 1929, man. Because what happened back then was, yeah, the stock market was a new thing for the people that invested in the first time in the stock market, because the stock market didn't exist before. So it was a new thing. Everybody went on board. Everybody from rich to poor bought a couple of stocks or two, and yeah, the margin call came, and most of them got wiped out. So this time, it's different. This time, yeah, the Fed is involved. This time everybody's pumping money into the market to prevent it from crashing, and they will fail, man. They will fail. It's just, yeah, man. Even the economic policies that have been passed or that have happened since the last 2 to 3 years, negative interest rates. Nobody heard about negative interest rates before. They actually thought about 5 or 6 years ago this was impossible, and now it is a reality. Negative interest rates, man. And they're all around us, from the lending market, or I don't know. Look, this is just complete insanity. And once again, because this insanity has to be washed out, man. This insanity has to be washed out. It has to be cut, man. It's a cancer and it has to be cut. So it's a cleansing. In one way or the other, this has to happen, because it's just too insane, man. The markets are not reasonable anymore. They were never reasonable, but now it's at the point of madness, man. Most people don't want to see the reality of this. They hide, hoping that they will be better off if they don't talk about. Well, they still believe that they will not be affected. That is the difference. When you suffer from cognitive dissonance, you actually believe that the stuff that is happening all around you is not going to affect yourself. So that's why many people are still shutting up. Many people still don't. Most of the people still have no clue what's going on. So them is this complicated for them to explain. You can tell is a scam. Yeah. No, because yeah, that's the thing. In the economy models and schools, they complicate stuff so that people, so that people believe that they're actually very smart. But the bottom line is they don't even know what the hell they're saying. these kind of economic formulas that many people are talking about. But if you listen to them, what the fuck is he talking about? Things work simple. If you explain to someone something that is simply explained, the person will understand. But they want this complicated so nobody understands, and so that everybody believes that we know what they're talking about. But because they just use complicated words to express their economic formulas and theories and whatever, and everybody thinks that they're smart, but they're not. Because if you do things simple like they used to be back in the day, you know, in the past things were actually done more simply and everybody understood it. But now everything is too overcomplicated. But that's what what they want us to believe, that yeah, that they know what they're talking about, so we have to trust them. This time has passed, because if we just take a look at what has been happening throughout history, man, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They never knew, and we see the outcomes. You know, bailouts, market crashes have been happening since forever. The tech bubble, the the tech bubble crash, the oil crisis, or the fuel crisis that happened in the late 70s. You know, they don't know what the hell they're doing, because, or they know, of course they know what they're doing. They're just wiping out people. They were just wiping out people's money, people's savings, people's pensions. That's what they specialize in doing throughout the years, is robbing money, is robbing people blind. That's their speciality. They're con men. Is the same as pyramid laws. It always needs some kind of pumping currency or debt to keep it running. Of course it is. Of course they need to keep it pumping. Now, because back in the days, or a while ago, I guess, even before 2008, because in 2008, yes, things started to get crazy. But before that, maybe in the 80s and the 90s, well, the 80s, 70s, and 80s, there was insanity and wars around the world. But in economy, things were still kind of okay, right? Then the 90s came, and then Bill Clinton and the USSR, you know, just fell apart in 1989. You know, things just started to go crazy through times with all these events, and the politicians and people that were in charge of the money, you know, and the wars. Because eventually, yeah, if they're not going to do the global reset, they will have to find another war to fight, so they can kill people, you know. They can kill people, and they can hide the fact that this economic crisis is not going to affect anybody. So in a crisis like this, yeah, I believe a war may be coming as well. You know, they have to find something to distract the people. Now we have the pandemic, so maybe they don't need the wars anymore. So who knows? If you can put everybody staying at home, not thinking for themselves, just taking a look at mainstream media, you know, just checking the news and see the pandemic stuff and everything like that. Yeah, you don't need to kill anybody. You just can you can just control them. Now with the tracing, with the contact tracing apps, you know, to see what we are doing, where we are, you know. Now they just yeah, they just can't afford us to send us home. Let's stay home, guys. There's a pandemic going on, you know, so we don't need to work anymore. We just need a little bit of money, so you get kind of a social score here. So if you behave, and if you do what you're told, you get some points. You may go out, you may buy and sell, you may do whatever you want. But if you don't follow the rules, then we will switch you down. Then you will be undesirable. You won't get the vaccine. You won't be able to pay your bills. You won't be able to buy or sell. You're just a margin. You're just outside of our system. That's what That's they have that ability already, especially in China. In China they have that ability. In the United States they're still working on it. Here in Europe they're still working on it. It's not going to be easy here because people are already rejecting these kinds of apps that are already available in France. They're getting rejected. Here in Portugal they won't have a chance with that because there's not many savvy electronic people. There are some, especially the younger generation, but not the older ones. So, not they won't have a chance in here because everybody in here, although we're in this pandemic state, we still kind of like our privacy. You know, we still like to have hard money. You know, cash at hand. That will lose. That that mentality will be lost as well. But it's different here in Portugal. We have a different culture, and people like to have cash at hand. So it's not going to be easy in here to have that implemented because everybody, you know, everybody wants to do their business. So, like I said, man, but I see a lot of the older people now paying with credit cards. Rarely they have cash at hand. You know, there's some part of the generation that doesn't have cash anymore. So, but the old school guys, the old school people from the villages, oh yeah, they still hard into money because most of them still don't trust banks. But more and more people, even the elderly, yeah, they're getting into it. But like I said, the contact tracing stuff, they won't get away with it here in Portugal, because like I said, there's not many technical savvy people here to deal with that shit. So they will have a very hard time with that. It's not going to happen here. And besides, our country is bankrupt for a long time. Here, there's not much money, you know, for innovation. You know, there has been some money for some things, but not for others. And yeah, with this pandemic going on, Jesus, oh yeah, it will be just beautiful. I'm already contemplating leaving this place, but to be honest, I still have to do some research. If I decide to leave this country, I have to leave this country well, where there are no confinements, where I don't have any lockdowns, where can I when I can go outside without masks and everything like that. I know there are a couple of countries still left that don't have these measures, but there are few, so I have to check it out. I'm not going to do it for now because, well, it's not a good time, man, with these with the economy the way it is, because things can break down every minute. You know, after the crash starts to come, you know, panic will start to come by as well. So we have to be prudent at times like this. After it's all said and done, or in the middle, yeah, then there's a chance to get the fuck out. I will see if I can get out to somewhere else, because like I said, if the confinements were starting to go away, yeah, but like I said, man, it's going to be hard because they don't want it to go away. That's what is happening in the United States. That's what's happening in here. France, I believe, is kind of think is happening the same thing. Spain, most of the countries are on board with this policy of wearing masks and be confined, you know, and 2 meters distance and self-isolating and whatever, you know. This is bullshit, man, and this is going to have serious consequences for the psyche of the people, man. You know, it's not affecting me that much because I'm used to it. You know, I'm actually a guy. You know, I'm not very sociable, so because of the stuff that I'm into. You know, if I would talk to anybody about the stuff that I'm talking right now, you know, I couldn't even I couldn't even talk to these people because they would look at me like I'm just a fucking nut. So that's one of the reasons why I'm a loner, man, because you know, people don't see things the way I do, you know. I know I used to be one of them, but man, there just comes a time where you have to start to see what the fuck is going on, but nobody, but mostly the people I know, you know, that they continue to be asleep. They just continue about their lives. There are a couple of people that know what's going on, but or whatever, man. Whatever, man. So that is the deal that we're facing in the world, and like I said, it will only hit people when when it's affecting them because they actually believe that they're immune to it. And even I, man, I know what's coming, and still, you know, when it hits, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for everybody. Of course, if you have a little bit of money, it's going to be a little bit easier. But yeah, let's see what happens here. The skills will be handy now. Yep, sure, without no doubt. If you have if you have any skills, if you're a carpenter, if you're an electrician, if you whatever, if you can do stuff, anything, you know, it's always it's always great to have these skills. Well, I'm getting tired. I guess I will kill the stream. I haven't been sleeping much the last week, so I guess it's time for me to start to rest a little bit because, well, I can't continue this pace, man. Sleeping about 3 to 4 hours a day. I haven't been doing it for a while because I just wanted to be kept up to what is going on to the world, but now I have to rest a little bit because look, I'm tired. So the skills will be in any trade. Yep. Yep. So we just kind of have to wait for it. There's no other way, man. No, because the problem is that yeah, even the guys in crypto, and I consider myself a crypto guy, and the market is going to be the market is the crypto market is going to be completely decimated, man. But well, unless you're some kind of some if you unless you're not in some kind of a stable coin, yeah, you're done. I guess I'm talking to myself again. So I will end the stream now. I need to rest as well. So I'm the coin, and I'm out.